Here we go.
In New York State Court, where Daryl Campbell, a.k.a. Tax Stone, was just sentenced to 35 years of upstate incarceration. This was for the manslaughter, the death of Ronald McFadder, three of whose family members spoke at the sentencing, and also the injuring of Troy Ave, and two others. At the end, after the legal arguments were done, after it was determined that there would be consecutive sentences, after Judge Klott said that he wanted them to be consecutive to show the four victims additional time upstate, Daryl Campbell spoke, and he said it was all Troy Ave's fault, that Troy Ave attacks anyone that attacks his music, that he's a jokester, that he only took a gun into the club in Irving Plaza to protect himself, that he always has felt that he would be attacked, therefore he had to have a gun. There were people sitting on both sides of the audience. There were supporters of Tex Stone on one side, and there were the supporters mostly of Mr. McFadder on the other side. I was in the middle. And I have to say, 35 years is a long period of time. We're going to continue to follow it. There was reference made to the federal case, which is pending before Judge Schofield. It's a felon in possession case. He did plead to that, and the prosecution said he only pled to that because of the potential larger exposure in federal court for not pleading out. We're going to follow that as well. Will that be on top of the 35 years? In any event, here we are. InnerCityPress.com. You'll find it online as we continue.
God damn.
Matthew Russell Lee at New York State Court. This is going to be a short one. Daryl Campbell, a.k.a. Tax Stone, was just sentenced to 35 years in prison for the death. It was called manslaughter at trial. The death of Ronald McFadder, the injuring of Troy Ave, and of two others. He blamed it, Daryl Campbell did, all on Troy Adams for attacking those who criticized his music. He said that he only took a gun because he felt under threat. Three family members of Mr. McFadder spoke, and the Judge Klott imposed 35 years. A longer report to follow. InnerCityPress.com. Here we are, Matthew Russell.
God damn! 35 years! Lesson learned. Let's talk about lessons learned from this situation. Lessons learned from this situation. Tax Stone should not have been at that venue if he had any idea that Troy Ave was going to be there. Should not be there. Troy Ave also, with his ego, initiated possibly an altercation that at the end of the day still got somebody killed. That doesn't make one less innocent than the other. The argument that, oh, well, Troy Ave set it off, so you got to blame him. That's not how it works in the legal system. You wasn't supposed to have a gun in that venue. I believe the harsh sentence is because it's New York City. There's going to be several lawsuits to follow. By the way, Troy Ave is suing Live Nation. Live Nation, they were running the event. A gun got brought in the venue. Apparently, Tax Stone was going from left to right, trying to figure out a way how to get in the venue without being searched. So he deliberately carried that gun. Banger is dead. Troy Ave also, even though he cooperated, he will be serving some time. And for all intents and purposes, Tax Stone's life is over. Just like that. Very horrible case. This Tax Stone case has taught me one thing, and I knew from the jump. I rather, a lot of times when niggas say, oh, you not outside, niggas want to see you crash. You ever heard any of these motherfuckers say, yo, Ak, you not outside? No, you don't see me with the rappers. I go outside. But if I'm critical of motherfuckers or I'm over here. Like, for example, I'll give you a quick example. Dirk, me and Dirk, we've been texting, we cool to center, right? Dirk came to Jersey to perform 2 days ago. Dirk was performing in Atlantic City. On the bill is Metro Boomin. Now, really, I don't really got no problem with Metro Boomin, but clearly he don't like me. I know if I say, oh, Dirk, give me some tickets, I know I'm going to be backstage, being in the mix, whatever. But here's the thing. I'm a fan at that point. I'm showing up to your concert. Metro Boomin's on the lineup. He is a performer that's going to be on the lineup. I say, why even put myself or even him in that situation? Now, granted, maybe it's I think there's a great likelihood nothing happens, but why even do that? Why even do that? You get what I mean? So I say, you know what? Nah, I'm going to catch Dirk on one of like his solo performances. Because that's how that Tax Stone Troy Ave thing happened. Troy Ave's he's invited by T.I. to perform. You're a blogger hanging out in the back with the cool guys. Well, eventually, you know it's going to come to a head. Yo, y'all seen each other? Y'all been talking shit about each other and nothing happened? These are decisions you got to make. This is the reason why I personally pride myself on not hanging out with rap niggas. And that might be used against me because people look at it like, well, maybe you're just not cool enough. Nah, I get invited to everything. I just make that decision not to go. Because when you go, you got to be aware of, and I'm not sitting here as woe is me. I'm sitting here as people like me, Charlemagne, Tax Stone, anybody who talks and actually has an opinion, or you could call it talking shit. You got to be aware of this. There's some niggas that won't, like, put it like this. If they said Freddie Gibbs and I don't know, whoever was doing some shit, and I wouldn't just show up there unless I'm planning to fight it out with them. It's just not going to happen. You get what I mean? You can't just go to places thinking it's just, so again, you have to make sure you're moving accordingly, especially, these are the risks you take, but these are also the precautions you have to take as well. Now, I say that to say this. I know Tax was a little bit newer in comparison to in like a lot of shit with the industry, but Tax knew what he was doing. The moment Tax said, I needed a gun to go in there, Tax knew what he was doing. That decision, along with another man's ego, who probably said, yo, it's three of us, it's one of him. It now led to one person dying, Tax getting 35 years.
Now, unfortunately, we have more court shit to break down because yesterday the judge sentenced Tex Stone to 35 years in prison. Now, apparently this is a consecutive sentence, so I don't in term know what that means as far as prison things go, but I don't know if he'll be in there the whole 35. Hopefully he'll just have to do 20, 15. Maybe he gets a chance to get parole. Who knows? But I hope to God it's not the whole 35, because Jesus Christ, the whole 35 for, in terms, defending yourself from niggas that was coming to jump you, all because you had a gun in a New York club where alcohol is being served. So New York has to throw you the book because they don't play that shit up there. It's like, it's crazy, because if this was Florida, Tax Stone would still be doing his podcast right now. I'm dead ass serious. If this was Florida, Tax Stone would be fine. But you know, they had people that had statements, and then the lawyer said in the clip I showed you, you had half a side that was there for Troy Ave and Banga, and you had another half of the side that was there to support Tax Stone, because it is a very volatile situation at the end of the day. Apparently Troy Ave was mad at the opinions that Tax Stone had about him. Those guys got into a war of words over Twitter for a long amount of time. Then apparently they finally saw each other at a club in New York. I think French Montana was there. I could be wrong. And then shots went off because apparently Troy Ave and Banga went and approached Tax Stone, and I guess that was the wrong thing to do at that moment because Tax Stone wasn't playing. Like I said, if this was Florida, it'd be a whole different scenario. It'd be a whole different case going on right now. I think Tax Stone would be still potting if he was in Florida. Hell, Georgia, he might still be potting. Who knows? But at the end of the day, Tax Stone, he got on Twitter. So Tax Stone said, just got 35 years for being victimized and reversing the situation. The beauty in it all is ... I'm not doing 35. Be safe though. I don't know what be safe though means. Him and Troy Ave have just been saying that randomly for no reason whatsoever, but you know, everybody be safe. That is a true thing to say. And he did come back and go, don't bend, don't break, don't shiver, don't shake. So clearly he's not bending, breaking, or folding, and he has confidence that he won't be doing the whole 35. Why do I feel like he has this confidence that he won't be doing the whole 35? Because this man hopped on Twitter after he got sentenced. That is crazy in and of itself. What are your thoughts about all of this? How do you feel about the Troy Ave Tax Stone situation? And how you feel about Akademiks' thoughts of the situation? I played that video as well. I am Savvy Mike. This is I Am Savvy Mike TV. Peace.